Hello students, I welcomes you in our one more session of export import management. So students, in today's lecture you are going to learn the different theories of international trade. So there are different theories given by different authors, different economics on the basis of different factors. So there are different factors of production due to which there is trade occurs between the different countries. So these different theories given by different authors. So we'll discuss one by one in next session. First of all, we learn about trade. So as we discuss many times, the trade, it is a exchange of goods. Economy is to transfer of commodities from one person to another person, or we can say it is a exchange of goods and services with the its value or with its money. So sometimes we also call the trade as a commerce or financial transaction of a barter. So trade means there is a transaction occurs between the buyers and sellers. That transaction, there is a exchange of goods and services with its value and with its price. So that exchange may be the, sometimes it may be the barter systems where goods are exchanged with another goods, and sometimes the goods are exchanged with the money. So it's a trade. There is a exchange of goods. Economy is to transfer of commodities from one person to another person. So there is a transfer of commodities from person to person. And for trade, we some it also called as a commerce, or sometimes we may also introduce it as a financial transaction of a barter. So theories of international trade. So there are some fundamental questions why there occurrence of different theories or different theories developed by different authors. So there are some reasons which motivated different authors, different economists to think or to form a theories which helps to the international trade. So the first question, that is the why does international trade takes place. So first and very important question for developing international trade, that is the why. So what is the reason which helps, which motivate for a international trade. So what does or why does international trade takes place. So why, what is the reason for transaction between different countries, why one country exporting particular commodity and why another country importing that product. So that is the first and important questions, which means it gives what factor gives the birth to a international trade. So that is a first fundamental question, why. Then second question, that is the what determines which country should export a particular good and which country should import it. So what determines, so what is a factor which decides, which determines the country A or particular country will export a goods and country B which import the goods. So what determines, what is a reason for import and export of a product, or what is a condition, what is a situation in which one country export a product and another country import a product. So that is the second question which generate a international trade. And the third question, that is the who gains from such trade. So if there is a international trade, there is a transaction happens between two countries, there is a exchange of goods and services, there is a import and export of commodities, but in this process which country who gains from such trade. So who will receive the benefit, who will gain the benefit, who will earn the profit. So these are the some fundamental questions. So first question, that is the why, that means reason, what determines, means what are the factors which generate international trade, and who benefit the international trade. So these are the fundamental questions which generate a international trade. There are different theories of international trade given by different authors or different economists. So these theories are categorized into two groups. The first one is classical theories and second one is modern theories. So in a classical theories there are three theories. The first theory, which we called as a early thinking theory. So early thinking, that is the theory was theory of mercantilism, that is mercantilism theory. Then second theory, that is the theory of absolute advantage, given in 1776 by the Adam Smith. And the third theory, which grouped under the classical theories, that is the theory of comparative advantage, given in 1870 by Ricardo. So the theory of absolute advantage given by Adam Smith in 1776, and the theory of comparative advantage given by Ricardo in the year 1817. So in our syllabus, out of classical theories, we going to learn the two theories given in syllabus. The first one is theory of absolute advantage and second one is theory of comparative advantage. So these two theories are included in our syllabus. The next, modern theories. In modern theories there are different theories given by different authors. So first one, the theory given by Heckscher and Woollin, which we call as a Heckscher-Woollin theory, given in a 20th century. The next one is new trade theory, which is based on economy of scale. Then third one is product life cycle theory and Porter's competitive advantage theory. So out of these theories we are going to learn the Heckscher-Woollin theory and Porter's competitive advantage theory. So first we'll discuss on the absolute cost advantage theory. So as I told, the absolute cost advantage theory is given by the Adam Smith, which is known as a father of economics. So before absolute cost advantage theory, there was one theory which we mentioned in a classical theory, that was mercantilism theory. So in mercantilism theory, that theory explained that if suppose there are two countries, country A and country B. So if country A has a product and which they have surplus in quantity and they are capable to export that products, so if they going to increase their export, they have to or they reduce their imports. So in that case their focus was only exporting the commodities and they restrict the import. So while this exporting, they generate a maximum income or maximum foreign exchange, but that exchange is benefited for country A only, and the another countries which going to trade with that country, they have to face the different problems or they will face the loss. So that was the theory of mercantilism. So in mercantilism theory, that focus on the only export and restrict the import for a particular country. So there is a focus on exporting, there is a increase in export and decrease in a import. So that is not benefited as a economy for a world, as a economy for a international trade. So for solution on that, the theory of absolute cost advantage is given by the Adam Smith. So in economics, absolute advantage refers to the capacity of any economic agent, either an individual or a group, to produce a large quantity of a product than its competitors. So in economics, absolute advantage means capacity of any economic agent, either an individual or a group, to produce a large quantity of a product than its competitors. So absolute advantage means capacity of any agent to produce a maximum or produce a more quantity as compared to competitors. So there is a taking a more benefit than the competitors. That is the absolute advantage. So absolute advantage means advantage in the terms of maximum production, in terms of higher capacity of production, and to getting a more income than the competitors. That is the absolute advantage. So it indicates that advantages of particular country or particular producer on the competitors in the case of quantity, or in the case of larger quantity, or in the case of capacity. This theory, the absolute cost advantage, is given by Adam Smith. As I told, the Adam Smith was a Scottish economist. In his book Wealth of Nations, so he wrote one book, that is the Wealth of Nation, in 1776. So in that book he mentioned that he noted that an inquiry into a nature and causes of the wealth of nations, which described absolute advantage as a certain country's intrinsic capacity to produce more of a commodity than its global competitors. So the Adam Smith, in his book of Wealth of Nations, he mentioned that the term absolute advantage, these terms indicates that the country's intrinsic capacity, intrinsic means internal, so internal capacity of a particular country to produce a more of a commodity than its global competitors. So this absolute advantage, absolute cost advantage terms first given by the Adam Smith, and which indicates, which shown that this capacity, or the it in shown that the certain countries intrinsic capacity, internal capacity to produce a more of commodity than its global competitors. The absolute cost advantage theory, it shows that when a country specialize on a basis of absolute advantage in a cost, they stand to gain through international trade. And just as a tailor does not make his own shoes and shoemaker does not stitch his own suit, and both gain by exchanging shoes and suits. So absolute cost advantage theory shows that there is a absolute advantage for both the country. In a mercantilism theory, it only focus on a benefit for a particular country or exporting country, but this theory, it shows that there is a benefit for both the countries, for importing and exporting. So this theory explain explain that the one country should be specialized for particular products. So one country, if they have a availability, or they are the capacity to build a maximum product in a minimum cost, then they have to specialize into that product, and they have to export that product to the country who are not having that capabilities, and they should import a product from such country who has a specialization of that product. So it is explained by given one example, that the example of tailor and shoemaker. So tailor cannot make his own shoes, so he has to buy it from the shoemaker, and same thing, shoemaker cannot stitch his own suit, so he has to buy his suit from the tailor. So there is a specialization. Tailor is specialized in a stitching of a suit, so he should focus on a stitching of a suit, and he should sell or he should export that suit to the shoemaker, and shoemaker is a specialized in a making a shoes. So he is capable, he is specialized in making a shoes, so he should export his shoes to the tailor. So this is a theory which given absolute cost advantage. It is nothing but the country should focus on a such a product in which they have a capacity, they have a ability, they have a maximum benefit, and they should import from a country where they having the benefit while importing that product. So that is the theory of absolute cost advantage. So students, in today's session will we discuss on the introduction of absolute cost advantage theory. So the remaining theory we will discuss in next session. Thank you.